People say I'm no good and crazy as a loon, 'cause I get stoned in the morning and I get drunk in the afternoon. Kinda like my old blue tick hound, I like to lay around in the shade. And I ain't got no money, but I damn sure got it made. 'Cause I ain't asking nobody for nothing if I can't get it on my own. If you don't like the way I'm living, you just leave this long-haired country boy alone. Preacher man talking on TV, putting down the rock and roll, wants me to send a donation 'cause he's worried about my soul. He said Jesus walked on the water, and I know that it's true, but sometimes I think that preacher man would like to do a little walking too. But I ain't asking nobody for nothing if I can't get it on my own. If you don't like the way I'm living, you just leave this long-haired country boy alone. Nothing at all, but I will take another toll. But I ain't asking nobody for nothing if I can't get it on my own. If you don't like the way I'm living, you just leave this long-haired country boy alone.
You've been making your brags around town that you've been loving my man. But the man I love, when he picks up trash, he puts it in a garbage can. And that's what you look like to me, and what I see's a pity. You better close your face and stay out of my way if you don't want to go to Fifth City. If you don't want to go to Fifth City, you better detour around my town, 'cause I'll grab you by the hair of the head and I'll lift you off of the ground. I'm not a saying my baby's a saint, 'cause he ain't, and that he won't cat around with a kitty. I'm here to tell you, gotta lay off of my man if you don't want to go to Fifth City. Come on and tell me what you told my friends if you think you're brave enough. And I'll show you what a real woman is since you think you're hot stuff. You'll bite off more than you can chew. If you get too cute or witty, you better move your feet if you don't want to eat a meal that's Coffee City. If you don't want to go to Fifth City, you better detour around my town. 'Cause I'll grab you by the hair of the head and I'll lift you off of the ground. I'm not a saying my baby's a saint, 'cause he ain't and that he won't cat around with a kitty. I'm here to tell you, gotta lay off of my man if you don't want to go to Fifth City. I'm here to tell you, gotta lay off of my man if you don't want to go to Fifth City.
I can't sell my mama short on loving me. I guess that's why she let me go so far. Mama tried to stop me short of stealing. I guess that's why I had to steal that car. She told me not to smoke it, but I did, and it took me far away. And I turned out to be the only hell my mama ever raised. Well, I rode into Atlanta, stolen tags and almost out of gas. I had to get some money. Lately I'd learned how to get it fast. Those neon lights was calling me, and somehow I just had to get downtown. So I reached into the glove box. Another liquor store went down. And I said, precious memories, take me back to the good old days. Let me hear my mama singing, the Rock of Ages cleft for me. She tried to turn me on to Jesus, but I turned on to the devil's ways. And I turned out to be the only hell my mama ever raised. Well, they put them handcuffs on me. Lord, how I fought to resist. But they just clamped them tighter till that metal bit into my wrists. They took my belt and my billfold, my fingerprints and the profile of my face. And then they locked away the only hell my mama ever raised. And I said, precious memories, take me back to the good old days. Let me hear my mama singing, the Rock of Ages cleft for me. She tried to turn me on to Jesus, but I turned on to the devil's ways. And I turned out to be the only hell my mama ever raised. She tried to turn me on to Jesus, but I turned on to the devil's ways. And I turned out to be the only hell my mama ever raised.
My family away from our Carolina home. Had dreams about the West and started to roam. 6 long months on a dust-covered trail. They say heaven's at the end, but so far it's been hell. And digging and sifting from 5 to 5, selling everything we found just to stay alive. Gold flowed free like the whiskey in the bars. Said he was the big thing Lord and said was a star. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills and it's waiting for me there. Girls were the evening tree, empty cartridges and bloodlines, the gooders of the street. Men were shot down for the sake of fun, or just to hear the noise of their 40-foot guns. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills and it's waiting for me there. Now my widow, she weeps by my grave. Tears flow free for her man she couldn't save. Shot down in cold blood by a gun that carried fame, all for a useless and no good, wordless claim. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills and it's waiting for me there. Fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills and it's waiting for me there. Waiting for me there.
An old cowboy went riding out one dark and windy day. Up on a ridge he rested as he went along his way, when all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw plowing through the ragged skies and up a cloudy draw. Their brands were still on fire and their hooves were made of steel. Their horns were black and shiny and their hot breath he could feel. A bolt of fear went through him as they thundered through the sky, for he saw the riders coming hard and he heard their mournful cry. Yippee-i-oh, Ghost riders in the sky. Their faces gaunt, their eyes were blurred, their shirts all soaked with sweat. He's riding hard to catch that herd, but he ain't caught 'em yet. 'Cause they've got to ride forever on that range up in the sky. All the horses snorting fire as they ride on, hear their cry. As the riders sloped on by him, he heard one call his name. If you want to save your soul from hell riding on our range, then cowboy, change your ways. Today are with us you will ride, trying to catch the devil's herd across these endless skies. Yippee-i-oh, yippee-i-ay, ghost riders in the sky, ghost riders in the sky, ghost riders in the sky.
Harper Valley Junior High. Well, her daughter came home one afternoon and didn't even stop to play. And she said, Mama, got a note here from the Harper Valley PTA. Well, the note said, Mrs. Johnson, you're wearing your dress is way too high. It's reported you've been drinking and running round with men and going wild. And we don't believe you ought to be bringing up your little girl this way. And it was signed by the secretary, Harper Valley PTA. Well, it happened that the PTA was gonna meet that very afternoon. They were sure surprised when Mrs. Johnson wore her mini skirt into the room. And as she walked up to the blackboard, I can still recall the words she had to say. She said, I'd like to address this meeting of the Harper Valley
Everybody goes into a dance, doubles on kazoo. Down on the corner, out in the street, with the folk boys are playing, bringing you fellas happy feet.
from the redneck girls like me. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Victoria's Secret, well, their stuff's real nice. Oh, but I can buy the same damn thing on a Walmart shelf, half price, and still look sexy, just as sexy as those models on TV. No, I don't need no designer tag to make my man want me. You might think I'm trashy, a little too hardcore, but in my neck of the woods, I'm just the girl next door. Hey, I'm a redneck woman, I ain't no high-class broad. I'm just a product of my race, and I say, hey, y'all, and hee-haw. And I keep my Christmas lights on my front porch all year long. And I know all the words to every Tanya Tucker song. So here's to all my sisters out there keeping it country. Let me get a big hell yeah from the redneck girls like me. Hell yeah! Hell I'm a redneck woman, I ain't no high-class broad. I'm just a product of my race, and I say, hey, y'all, and hee-haw. And I keep my Christmas lights on my front porch all year long. And I know all the words to every old Bocephus song. So here's to all my sisters out there keeping it country. Let me get a big hell yeah from the redneck girl.